All right, I think we're going. Welcome back to another one of these things where we just sort of talk about whatever's on the mind, essentially. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. Since we are at Thursday, I keep thinking it's Friday. I've thought it's been Friday for the past 2 days now, and I'm starting to feel bad about not being right. It'd be great if it were the end of the week. But luckily, that's actually tomorrow. So don't have to be wrong any more times for this week. Just had to be prepared to be wrong all the days next week. Yeah, hopefully your day is going great. I certainly hope it is. Today for me was kind of the usual big new project at work. A lot of people running around with their heads cut off, trying to keep my head kind of on as people are running by and just document the crap out of the things that we do know so that we can have people just start building things in like a week or so, when ideally that's when people wanted to start, which I think will be totally possible at this point. We didn't think it would be, but we can kind of hit the ground running then, which would be good. But a bit of like kind of that mentality today kind of came through for something that felt like it'd be an okay thing. So this video is going to be mainly for people. I guess it can sort of range for anything really. It's just really relevant for technology. So if you work for a technology company, and again, this can probably be applied, but I'm just gonna be talking from the perspective of being a developer and a developer manager. Don't panic. I don't know why my mic just went weird. Don't panic about like everything that can go wrong. So while I don't completely agree with building so fast that you just can't succeed, you can't be afraid of little things going wrong all the time. One of the people that I work with I have a phrase, the two things that he can do really well are say yes and panic. And the latter of those always kind of gets to me. Like, it's okay when people are like, yeah, I want to do that for you. But the other part about panicking over just about any little thing that can go wrong is horrible. You definitely don't need your team, and you definitely don't need yourself being stuck on all the things that can go wrong when you're building something new, or even fixing something that's currently broken. Like, there's a not zero chance every time that you're about to do something, push something out, deploy something that isn't working as you expected. And even if you fix something else could break. When today, for instance, we're working on a different project. We were planning on deploying, not this weekend, but next weekend, this change to how we handle something. And we had found during testing that just the way we were planning on doing something wasn't going to work with one of the libraries we were using. So we decided to swap it out. And now everything works except for one very specific test case that we have. And it might just be a typo in the file. We're not sure yet. And we just corrected that and it should be fine. But this person who says yes and panics was just like, this is way worse than keeping the broken thing out there if this happens. And we're just sort of like, why? There's no real explanation for it. And even then, if it is something that's a big deal, then we address that too. But if the way forward is to have to use this new library, then what other choices do we have? Not fixing the current problem? By sort of having this sort of, panic blinders on all the time, you don't make progress ever. You have to wait super duper long to make even a small step forward because you're so afraid to fail. And that's honestly no real way to work in any space, especially technology. Everything moves so fast. By the time that you get your perfect solution and everything that you want to have, everyone's moved past you already. You can't afford to sit there on your solution forever until it's 100% correct. because it won't be. It can't be. It just doesn't. And even if you could reach that theoretical perfection, you're too late. That's just how it works. So it always kind of bothered me when, like, if you get that sort of mentality brought in to working on something, especially in this technology space. One, because, like how we just mentioned, it stops you from getting something like actually working and beneficial out there for people to use. But also because it really does take a toll on everyone around you who's working with you. If the only thing that people can look forward to hearing from you is being worried or scared of something, I guess it might be okay if you're kind of like the pessimistic developer in the room, but especially so if you're any sort of leader, whether you have the title for it or not. If people look to you as a leader and you express that type of behavior for just about anything that gets thrown your way, it makes the team just fall kind of apart. Like there needs to be a positive forward moving energy when working with any kind of project technology or otherwise. And if people look to you for direction, and your direction is always pessimism, that can get in the way of just having a good culture or mentality for the team to get behind. Not to say it's like there's never a place for saying, I don't think we should do this. This seems like a really bad idea. Definitely do that. Like if you see that. But if it's literally every time that the only thing that you do is point out the bad idea and never have a solution, that can get pretty bad. Especially when it comes to working with tech. It should never really be the mentality to move as fast as you can, but going slow to be perfect, to chase something that can't happen, just isn't another path to that. You have those two extremes. Move so fast that whatever you do is always broken, and move so slow that you'll never get something out the door. You got to find that middle path. And it really helps if you can take those things that could go wrong. And this isn't to say that I don't think of the things that could go wrong. Like this person who's worried about certain things all the time, I always take those into account. I never discount the fact that something could happen and we should look out for it. But it's never game breaking from my perspective. It's something to look out for. And if it's really a big problem, we change it back. It's not a huge deal. Or if it's still a problem, but not as big of a problem as the thing that we fixed, keep it out there and fix it. But if all you do is panic and stop, nothing got better. Nothing. So my thing that I usually do is, even though I may be worried, like deep down in my heart, worried about something, I make that known. I make sure people know that I have a concern, and then provide solutions for how to approach that. And I gauge the room and see what everybody thinks. My initial take is never going to be, I don't think we should do this because I'm scared of it. It's, this is something we should consider. Does everybody else think that this is something we should be worried about? And if we don't do something now, we're going to have to do something in a week. So what should we do? Here's what I've been thinking. And then put my ideas kind of out there for people to poke holes in. I always say one of my favorite things is to be told that I'm wrong in those scenarios. I really like when people can take that idea and be like, you know what? I see where you're going, and it'd be better if you did this. I love it when that happens. That is my favorite time in any kind of meeting, discussion, whatever, is coming up with a better solution than I came up with, that the team comes up with something better than one person did on their own. That always feels really good, no matter what the scenario is. But if you go in there with that panic mentality and you immediately start shooting things down wherever they are, and you're latching onto this one thing that could go wrong, true though it might be, you're never making progress by just anchoring to that one bad thing that can happen. To be able to lead a team, whether you're a manager or even just a developer that people look up to, someone's mentor, being able to recognize that there's something that should be thought of just is a concern, while not letting that overshadow whatever solution that people come up with, or even that you might have. Not letting that panic take the forefront is so important. It's so important. I don't know how we would ever do anything if the only leadership voice we had was the one from the guy who panics. I don't think we'd ever release anything, frankly. But anyway, that was just some thoughts that I had today. I have them a lot around these things. I don't want to talk about work, managery, leadership things all the time, but maybe people enjoy that kind of stuff, though. And I'm so new to this, it's just kind of like, I don't like seeing this as somebody who reports to somebody, but I'm also in a position now where I can take action on that and lead by example, and then other people can kind of rise to that same position and approach problems in a way that's conducive to the entire team. One, coming up with better solutions together. Two, not like stopping dead in their tracks because they're scared to push anything that could potentially break. And I like being able to do that. I like being able to empower other people to do cool things. Anywho, I think that's probably about it for today. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday and you continue having a wonderful time into Friday. For real this time. Not because I told you all that today was, because you think today is Friday, but maybe you are thinking like me and thinking that the past 2 days have been Friday. And in which case, yes, have a good time going into Friday, this time for real. And we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.